Hopefully my little heater isn't too loud. If it's too much noise coming from my end, please let me know, and I will. I'll move it.
Sounds good on my end, at least. All right, looks like it just refreshed on my laptop, so people might be showing that it went live. What's up, everybody? All right, looks like it just refreshed on my laptop, so people might be showing that. And I heard it go on yours there.
Yep, there we go.
Once we start, apparently it takes about 30 seconds. Even though it says we're live, it takes about 30 seconds to really pop up for y'all. So, hey, everyone. We're like, hey, no one's saying anything. We lost Tyler. I'm kidding.
Relocating my space heater, so it's not terrible. All right, so what is up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Normally we're on Saturdays, but it is Sunday today. Happy Sunday, everybody. This is the third official episode of the Lapidary Lounge podcast. My name is Tyler. I also go as the Geode Cracker and Collector, as you can see on my $1 hat from Amazon. Not too bad. And with me is the co-host, Rufo Tris Rooted Rockhound, also known as Chris. And today we're kind of focusing on, like the title says, best and worst. So we're going to go over things like our best and worst cabochons, best and worst finds, best and worst videos, and things like that. So before we jump into things, anything you want to talk about, Chris? I know you've got had some announcements going on with your channel lately. So
yeah. So first off, hey everyone, Happy New Year! Our first podcast since the new year. Had a little.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year!
Yeah, it was my bad that we couldn't do the podcast yesterday because I went to New York City, spent some time with the family, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. But I also launched my Patreon, so that was kind of my big news. Is the start of the new year. I launched my Patreon, and we'll definitely get into that later in the show when I flip around the camera. I'll show you guys what the perks are, and we can chat about it a little bit later. But you'll be able to get physical rewards, crystals, cabs, rocks, and stuff by joining my Patreon, as well as discounts within my live sales and my website. And roles in the Discord and other things. There'll be giveaways and more, kind of like the marbles stream that I just did. There'll be that kind of stuff for the Patreon giveaways. So yeah.
Sweet. Exciting stuff, that's for sure. So it's been live for what, a day now? A couple days now?
Yeah, we're on like day 5 or 6. I don't remember. I launched it actually the other day and wasn't like advertising it everywhere. I just put it out in my last video that went live. You know, it said it at the beginning and end of the video. But I put it out like
Jeremiah in the house. I'm not gonna burn my pants legs. And I'm not wrapped up in a blanket time. It's not like 6 degrees.
And on like last podcast, I'm actually wearing pants instead of sweatpants.
I'm wearing some fleece pajama pants. It's 35.
And congrats to Jeremiah. He actually swung in and got the prize from my giveaway because the person who on that race was out of the country, didn't respond, and was not publicly subscribed as the rules stated. So they were like, yo, congrats, Jeremiah. I already told him, but yeah, he won that giveaway.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, what up? We got Landon in the house again. We've got Jackie, Ken. Who else we got? Let's do some quick little live. Oh, Zigma, show his egg. Sorry.
Yeah, right up here.
We got Greg, Ken. We got Karen hanging out. Mia, Jackie. We had Noah pop in the beginning. He's gonna have some folks over for some watching some football, so he's not gonna be with us. But he popped in and said hello.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't make the podcast. Well, not friends, family and friends. Couldn't make the podcast Friday, the Rockhound podcast, and then couldn't make your stream last night because we were out at an arcade. It's like a barcade. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, see, that would have been perfect. If you were watching, like I said, we made a game. I cracked 23 geodes. Okay, so every time I cracked a geode that was hollow, you were supposed to take a shot, and I think we were
watching, and I did see that, but I only got like partway into the video.
Oh man, I've got them right on the table. Let's see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are solid. So 24 take away 7. You got a few shots to do, buddy.
So here's the funny part: is as you'll know, I rarely even drink. I've said before, and I wasn't even
No,
drinking barcade last night. I was the one guy with water. I'm sitting there drinking my water and playing pinball and killing it. And I had 2 Prosecco's at dinner, and that's it. I was like, had my little bubbly, and yeah. Uh, that many shots is probably going to be have to spread out over the next 2 years, and I got you. I definitely don't do shots. I'll sit and drink wine or some like gluten-free beers, but yeah, fortunately, can't have gluten.
Hey,
And
rocking the antenna. All right. Oh, this hat. So, like I mentioned,
no,
it fits so weird. If I put it on my head comfortably, the bill's like out to the side. So,
I didn't do my hair, so the beanie went on. It's wild. But yeah, you
oh,
get started with the actual
yeah.
best and worst. Go ahead and tell people exactly what we're going to go over today.
So yeah, like I said, we're gonna touch on our best and worst experiences. I guess we could say as a broad term. We're gonna talk about best and worst cabochons that we've made, polishes that we've done, videos that we've put out. Um, we can even talk about best and worst. You can take shots of Bailey's. We can even talk about best and worst rock hounding experiences. There's quite a few different things. So the main things we're going to focus on are videos, cabochons, um, and I think that's pretty much the main two. So if you guys have any other like best and worst that you want to hear, be sure to drop them in the comments. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast or at a later date that's not Sunday, know that we do this show live, so you can join in, be in the live chat, interact, and um, kind of gear how the conversation is going to go. So that's the one benefit that is pretty fun. So curious to see what more YouTube brings us with the dual streams and things like that. Be really cool if we can get like 4 content creators in here.
Little preview of some of my bests that I was just showing off there.
Shave the head.
No, you mean Tyler? That's fine. Me? No.
Yeah, I don't mind. I normally just I zero it every time I cut my hair, and it doesn't bother me. There's not much up there. That's why I wear hats now. Yeah, definitely, Jeremiah. So what we're planning to do, obviously, we don't know when or if that's going to happen, but we do want to touch base with a handful of content creators out there, and we're gonna basically we can do it in a way where so when you do this stream, I'm the host of it right now. So I have a link that I can share with multiple content creators. And basically, Chris is in right now. So we can have Chris drop out and we can have Jeremiah join in and we can have Jeremiah sit on and talk for a little bit. And then Jeremiah drop out and then Chris come back or somebody else come back. But the only thing is, I don't think I could leave the stream if I'm the host because I think then it would just end. So I would have to remain, but we can always change who's in and who's talking and stuff like that. So
And in the future, we might be able to have multiple guests. We're not sure. This is like a beta thing, so it's still in development.
awesome. So we're just kind of rolling with it. We're enjoying it so far. YouTube's doing good with this. We appreciate it. We've definitely both openly talked about how YouTube should do something like this because TikTok does it. So thanks for listening, YouTube.
And non-spherical sports ball, yay!
Best geode. All right, we can do that. So let's get into it. I want to start off with best and worst videos. I kind of briefly talked about mine last time. I didn't really have all the stats on my worst video or anything like that. But I've got my laptop handy now. And so basically, when I joined YouTube, I was already creating content on Facebook. I already had multiple live streams out on Facebook. And for me, when I joined YouTube, I just kind of dumped a whole bunch of those live streams on all within like a 1 week span. I think there was like 20 or 30 uploads that I had. Each one was like anywhere from an hour to 45 minutes to 2 hours. So my worst one is one of those with currently has 41 views and it's been up for a year. Let's see if I click on it. I uploaded this on. I don't even see it. Well, this one is a restream. So I'll uploaded February 11th of 2021, and I streamed it on January 12th of 2021. I streamed it on Facebook. Well, there's two of me. What's going on? What up, Travis? Welcome in, buddy. So yeah, that currently has 41 views. So I obviously didn't put a whole lot of effort into that one, but my current best video is called or titled "How to Spot a Geode," and that one, if we click on it, currently has 372,700 views. So
Yeah.
41 views over 250,000 views is kind of crazy. So that just goes to show that the YouTube algorithm plays a gigantic part in how well people do on this platform and how well certain videos do. So 41 views to I don't even know what the math is for that. Like how many times greater that is. But it's kind of crazy. And honestly, for my how to spot a geode video, I think it did well because of the concept of the video, and it's it's short and to the point, but it's not one that I spent a whole lot of time on. It's one that I put out. It didn't do well at first. It took like a month and a half, almost 2 months for it to pick up, and I totally planned to recreate it, and it's just the end of the season I wasn't able to recreate it, and then it was like fall into winter, and then it just kind of picked up and ran. So it's not even the one I put the most work into. Honestly, the ones I put the most work into have mediocre views. They haven't even broken 1,000 views. So it really makes you think, and it really makes you frustrated. And that's honestly a lot of the reasons why I take a break from YouTube sometimes, and I have a week or 2 weeks off is just because I'll pour all this time and effort and money sometimes even into some videos, and then they do poorly, and then I have one that's a 6-minute video I threw together half awake, and it's going crazy. So it's kind of fun, kind of a roller coaster. Definitely a lot more letdowns than there are than the high points like that. But we just kind of hold on and wait for the next one to do a little better too.
Right. Jackie pointed out, I've been seeing this a lot on TikTok, especially. People just go viral overnight with one video, especially this guy cracking the anhydro and getting 70,000 subs or whatever she said. Yeah. It's insane. And I've seen it a handful of times, especially on TikTok or here on YouTube, just because of a short. People will take off and their channel blows up. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all love
I not to look at the stats. It's a little difficult not to when you get to a point where you're monetized, because then obviously the better your stats are, the more you're making. So I will say, without disclosing too much, but that video of mine that is doing well, that has 374,000 views, has made me 4 figures off of ad revenue. So I paid a little bit of attention to those statistics, and I'm definitely hopeful for another video to wind up like that. But I think at the time when it started to go off like that, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to make another one, and then it kind of didn't happen, and it just was a huge letdown. So it's a good idea to not pay attention and not focus too much on the statistics and stuff like that. But when that happens, it's just kind of fun. I mean, I would message Chris along the way. I'd be like, dude, what the heck? Like, how many times did I message you? Like, holy crap! Now it's got 3,000 views today.
I was like,
capped out 9,000 views in one day, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember, especially when it was blowing up. Yeah, you were like many times a day, multiple times a day throughout the day, just like been like a half. You're like, dude, it's been a half hour. I got another 5,000 views. What the hell? What?
It was going crazy. Yeah, it's super exciting. Super exciting.
Roller coaster for sure. I mean, we all try and do the shorts. We all want that video to go viral and for our channel to do that. And we all want to be, another Dan Hurd or Polly or, whatever.
Yeah. Ken asked a good question. So, not to hate anybody or anything like that. Quartz Cowboy has openly talked about the impact he had. He had a video that did go viral. It's not one of his full length videos. He had a short video on YouTube right around the time when YouTube Shorts became a thing. So I think he had that going on to his advantage. Um, but yeah, that video just picked up and it did really, really well. But he's openly talked about how difficult it is now to put out content and to, just get back to that same, even close to that same momentum, because a lot of those were like people are just seeing that scrolling through their feed and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they're liking it and they're subscribing, but then they're never going back and looking at that content again. So it's super difficult. Super, super difficult. Yeah, Course Cowboy's he's got awesome stuff, great stuff. I mean, his number one video right now is I'm sure everybody's seen it. Is looking inside that redonkulous geode, and I definitely want to go out there with him and collect sometime. But it can be difficult. So I mean, I was glad to have a regular video pick up and do well like that, but I was at the same time super nervous to have a similar situation happen. And I was like, if I like blink and wake up to like tens of thousands of subscribers, then I'm gonna be like, oh crap, I'm nowhere near what I should be to entertain this.
Right. I thought, man, I tell you what, I thought this one right up here, it's just out of sight, but I thought that big old blue geode, I thought I was going to go viral for that one. But, like, that video didn't even do that good. I found this massive, giant blue chalcedony geode in Oregon.
So beautiful.
Like, you think that thing's going to take off, but then it doesn't.
You just never know. Sorry, I saw Greg hit a hydrate. I don't have a cup with me, but I've got a gallon of chocolate milk in the fridge.
Always got water. So while he goes to grab that, I guess I can jump into. I had mine pulled up to show y'all here, which was so. On my channel, you can see my best was a short. It was actually the one of my owl, the print. So it wasn't even anything to do with rocks, which is that very top one right there. But then the next two down were rock hounding videos. One was actually a preview about me selling boxes of random rocks when I did some flat rate boxes full of geodes and thunder eggs and nodules. But you can see that one 21-minute video, rock hounding plume agates. That was one of my Graveyard Point videos. That was just over a year ago. It did get a copyright, but not a hard copyright. It was a soft copyright because I forgot to put the full credits for a song in the description. But it only got 4,600 views. But that was my top ever rock hounding video. There you guys can actually see a little bit too. It does show us the number of likes or the percentage of likes versus dislikes. And you can see there's sometimes where your video might get 90% or even less. And you're like, what did I do that people actually thumbs down my video? That one's got the one with 90% likes. It's got 4,200 views, and it is the one I mentioned, the selling the boxes. So because I was selling something, people downvote it. And I have found that a lot throughout a handful of my videos is when I've had any video that mentions selling something, it tends to get more thumbs down than any other video because there's a lot of people who don't want to come watch people sell stuff, and I understand that. It's not what people are here for, but there you go, hydrated. But yeah, one of my best videos was the owl print, which I've actually got right here. But the rock hounding, which was actually my favorite place, Graveyard Point, I'm happy it was one of my top videos, but I'm kind of surprised that it just dropped off. And then after that, nothing ever picked up as much. Kind of like, nothing ever like Tyler's really, really big video. But I just kind of expected after that, just was like, oh, it's going to happen again. My next video is going to be that big. Oh, nope, maybe the next one. Nope, maybe the next one. I go back and I look at it. I'm like, what did I do so different that made that video get 4 times more as any other video's views? And it does get really discouraging, as was previously mentioned, but yeah. That's what my top video was from, is making those prints.
For me, I have like a guaranteed like 3 thumbs downs for every video because it's just other people. There's another content creator, and then just a couple people in the mix that just don't like me for whatever reason. So I know I get a couple like guaranteed thumbs down. Occasionally I'll get like a short video that's like 100% likes. I'm like, haha, you guys didn't see this one.
Right here, you're like, oh, no one saw that. This was one of my other top things this year, but I actually wish it had taken off more. And it's that crystal face drawing I did, and it took me so many hours. And it was a portrait of me with a crystal face. And it's supposed to be a life-size portrait, me wearing my hat and all that stuff. But some things you just really wish took off. I don't think I ever showed this one off. I may or may not have. I did not draw this next one. This is one that my classmate drew of me because we were drawing each other one day. And yeah, it's not the best ever of accuracy, my girlfriend says, but I think it's like better than anything I could have done. That, I don't know. That looked a lot like me, I thought. Do you see it?
Definitely.
Yeah. But that girl left like all her pictures. She left, didn't want like any of the ones she drew of other people. I was like, well, hell yeah, I'm gonna take that. Why not? Yeah, my worst.
Jackie asked a question, do you
Oh, I
thumbs
missed.
even negatively impact the channel? I don't think they do. Um, not in a way that it's gonna, you know, change the way it circulates. Maybe if you had like a higher ratio of dislikes to likes. But I think in our cases where it's just a handful, I don't think it's really going to do anything. Um, yeah, I don't think it matters. And honestly, especially after the helicopter movement, that's what I call it. The helicopter movement swept through, and they changed it to where you couldn't even see how many dislikes were on a video because people's feelings were being hurt. So it's not a big deal.
I thought I unlisted these. I swear YouTube changes stuff. So I had these bad videos that apparently were still public and have only 12 views, even though they're from 2020. But they're my gaming ones, and that's my absolute worst stuff. But my worst raw counting related videos were some of my first shorts, like the walk to the quarry and wow, really this one? Something's not right here. This is one of my lowest viewed full length videos. Is the Pace and Diamond that I just did. It was one of my lowest premieres, ranked in the lowest. Has 100% likes though. That's interesting. I wonder why it's showing down here on the list when all these other. Look at this. It's got 130 when everything else around it is. That's
Maybe
like a bug,
stats might not have caught up to it because you said that was just what
right?
you did that.
Yeah, that was like my most recent video. But yeah, you can see it's my gaming stuff that does the worst, and that's why I thought about not really posting the gaming stuff anymore.
My
But
Pokemon stuff does well sometimes, but honestly, for me, and like I've had people in different channels and stuff comment and tell me I shouldn't do Pokemon related stuff, but let me say from the beginning, from the very first time I was on YouTube and did lives on YouTube and stuff like that, I said that my channel is going to consist of rocks and occasional Pokemon because that's what I enjoy to do, and this is my channel, and I'm going to do it how I want to. So I'm
yeah,
not I'm not gonna make a separate channel to do it because that's too much. That's too much work. I've already got a platform and a community here, and if they know me well enough, they know I enjoy Pokemon, and occasionally they're gonna see a live stream of me opening up some packs of cards. I think I've had 3 streams, not even no more than 3.
thank you. I did see that, Landon. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that.
Woo!
But yeah, like this one, I thought this was going to be a killer preview showing like, just look at this, all these fossils, like nonstop, just tons of well-preserved carbonized leaf fossils in the ash piles. That was back before I changed my name to Rooted Rockhound.
Right? Card breaks are awesome.
But yeah, some of my worst videos are definitely my gaming stuff, and then people don't really like when I share my non-rock stuff, like coins. I tried some coin stuff or some gold panning stuff, or the things from the museums that actually had some negative comments I had to remove.
See, that's annoying. I mean, I'll admit for me, I didn't start doing Pokemon related stuff until I'm pretty sure after I hit 1K. It wasn't until like this past year, but even then, it shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, you can see here in all my top 10, it's like all shorts. So short, full-length video,
I'll
short,
rock
short.
cards, whatever you want.
Ooh. Although the Rainbow Wood was one of my best videos ever. Also before I changed my name, but it had that Rainbow Wood that I found and polished. I'm trying to find it on the timeline here. Look at that. Woo. Oh,
You sleepy?
crazy. And that's when it was all rough. Now,
Oh, gas, my little tank right
anyway, I have a hard time watching chat when I have this screen up because my chat was on the other screen. So I'm going to close this and go back to seeing what people were saying in the chat because I
Oh,
missed everything for the last 5 minutes there.
I might run and start a cup of coffee. That's a good idea.
We have to go blow up the comments on your Payson video. It has no comments from what your screen showed. You know, that was, for some reason, those stats were messed up, like Tyler said. The most recent videos take a while to catch up on YouTube.
It's annoying. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
All right. So the fluorescence, yes, Ken. Let me go ahead and show you guys that fluorescence. Let me catch up on some other comments. And then it doesn't, have a, like, lingering glow after the lights are off, but it does have a nice, pretty little coloration. Let's see, got my black light here. I've got like 3 lights on, so let me turn these off. Flip this around. And then, oh hey, look, what's that? Is that a whole bunch of stickers? Yeah, got an order of stickers. Whoops, and then I just knocked over my tower of cabs. Yeah, got my holographic stickers. Got another order of those, so can send them out to everyone who won on my recent giveaway and to all my new Patreons. But I'll show you that in the black light. So yeah, it's actually kind of blue, a kind of clearish to blue chalcedony, and then just a crazy glow in the black light. So yeah, that that was from the McBride Creek out in, well, McBride Creek area. So there's a couple claims and then some little road cut spots that you can go out to, and they have little ash flows that ran through the area from some of the volcanoes that were pre-Yellowstone. So the chain of volcanoes that is now Yellowstone was down where Idaho and Oregon meet on the most southern border. And there's just a chain of old volcanic craters and ash flows and stuff that go from there all the way up to Yellowstone if you look on all the geological maps. And so you can go there and find ancient ash flows and stuff that created petrified forests. I don't think I put them on YouTube, but some of my recent TikTok videos showed the carbonized leaves, which you can go grab them in a second, but it's that video I just showed a little preview of, and the carbonization like creates an amazing preservation in the leaves that's just super unreal. If you have a microscope, you can actually see the little individual leaves, cells, and cellular structure. Oh, take my tripod. All right, sorry, trying to read the chat. Just caught up and moved back. Viking, your sticker's coming with your guitar parts that I'm making. I'll send you a couple stickers. And for those who don't know, yeah, I'm making some little custom pieces for Tarnished Viking, and then I'm fixing something up and cutting a few things for Margaret, which let me show you guys what Margaret sent. One of the things she sent, this huge chunk of picture jasper. Look at that thing. Some nice picture cab potential right there. Hey, Angie made it in. Welcome. Okay. So let's see. I'd caught up, shown you the UV, and then yes, Tyler went for coffee. Weird, it's cutting off part of the chat. So how do you tell that's chalcedony and not opal when it's in the petrified wood? That is a really good question, Jackie, and sometimes you can't. So with some of my pieces, if it's on the surface, you can definitely do a hardness test and tell. And there are some pieces of my wood that is half opalized and half chalcedony, and I've done little hardness tests on it and scratched it, and you can clearly tell. And the opal even sometimes flake and chip away. And if you can see it on the surface, it has that more opal, common opal white potchy feel, which is more similar to chert than it is chalcedony. I don't know if I have any super handy. If you give me 1 sec, you can see me dig in that closet for it. But I have a few pieces of the wood with the opal and chalcedony. Where I put them. I may have to show y'all on the next stream. Oh, there it is. Actually, yeah. So, how to tell is if it's on the surface, you can do a hardness test. If it's not on the surface, it's kind of just a guesswork. You might not actually know if it's opal in it. It might just look like opal. You might be guessing, if that makes any sense. Like if it's very transparent, such as this piece, for all I know, that is some opal in there. I actually haven't done a hardness test on the bottom here, but the way it polished up on the wheel, it seemed like chalcedony. But I haven't done hardness test on any of this, but it's very possible that like some of that is opal. Especially, look how the light hit that. It's very possible that that's a piece of opal in the petrified wood. But I also have a lot of the carbonized wood, and some of this gets opal in it and chalcedony. Let's see if I can find a piece that clearly has both. Some Dalmatian stone. Okay, well, that's
To a sale.
example. Oh, Jackie just asked a question. How do you tell if the material in the petrified wood is opal or chalcedony? Like on some of it. And I was just saying, sometimes unless you can do a hardness test and it's on the surface, you don't really know. Sometimes it's guesswork if like some of that white is opal. Like this one, the way it reflects and hits the white makes me think that bit in there was opal, and the way it chipped away while I was polishing it. Just like some potch opal in there.
Hello, Ann.
All right, let me try and catch back up on questions here.
Oh, we got Tarnished Viking in the house. What up, buddy?
Angie says, sold. Wait, are we not selling? No, not right now, we're not.
Did you see Ken's question about showing the picture of the pet wood on Discord?
Yeah, I was trying to catch up. I just read Jackie's, and I'm scrolling down. Which
Yeah,
right for that. Yeah. Yes, I can show it here. Yeah, that is something I can do. And this is the moment that maybe I shouldn't put suggestions in people's heads, but watch, Ken just trolls us and is like, watch what I'm going to put on the screen.
Gonna give you up.
Right, I swear. If we get rickrolled here, Ken, you lose your privileges. That's not it. That's Jinx. In what Discord? Was it on the podcast?
Show and tell.
Show and tell. He's talking about the podcast, not the Lapidary Lounge. Man, you're on the Lapidary Lounge podcast and you're using the Rockhound podcast Discord. What a disgrace. No, I'm kidding. Can I not do a full screen image? Maybe open in browser. Here we go. Okay. So this is the fun.
Right.
Ken, wait, you're not in ours? I know I've invited you. You need to get up in there.
You're in our Discord.
Right? I swear you're in it.
Ken's in our Discord.
Like, I swear he's chatted in it. This is the fun of the live. We can now show people stuff like this as Ken requested. Maybe turn up the brightness.
Come to the dark side.
Alrighty. So what are we looking at here? Ken's show and tell.
A lot of petrified wood in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll back up and see what he said. Okay. Some of Rockhound Treasure Hunt's pet wood he sent me. Can you show it here? Yeah. Okay. That is a lot of pet wood. He sent you all that? Very nice. Very, very cool. So yeah. Anyway, we had a little delay there. Tyler is back, so he can get going with his best and worst. I don't know. You want to do maybe show your best find, or you want to talk about some of your favorite cabs you made or something?
Let's do. Oh no, I had mentioned it, Ken. If you're talking to me, when you said you had a whole big box of them, and I said I'll trade you rocks for those. Man, that's so pretty. That'd be cool. I will send. I'll send some rocks back. I got some stuff to send your way, anyways. Oh, I just popped back to Chris. Ah! Like I was doing, like looking close at the picture of the rocks, and then.
You know, it's too bad I don't have any Halloween masks. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, do I?
I've got one that scares Heather every time I put it on and hide.
All right,
It's a old man mask. It's got like a big long chin and a big nose. And it's just got long white hair and a beard.
like, where's that?
Yeah, Ken is sponsoring a live cabbing competition. So one of the episodes of the Lapidary Lounge, we're going to be going head to head.
Yeah,
and I think we said we're both going to use our flat laps, right? Or
yeah, I mean, I think for fairness, for the first one at least.
Yeah,
and then we can just
I think
have sessions later, and you can use the wheels or whatever you want.
Siri started listening. Stop it, Siri.
Dude, I kid you not. This was the funniest thing we've ever experienced the other day. We're in New York City, and me and my girlfriend were talking about something, and I don't remember what happened, but one of us, I swore. I was like, "Oh, what the shit," or something. I said something bad, like we were joking and talking about some subject, not arguing or anything bad, but just having like a conversation. And then Siri out of nowhere was like, "That's not very nice," and we were both like, "What was that? What was that?" And I look at my watch, and it had recorded a long paragraph. I kid you not, I could scroll through it, and it was like it had recorded like the last 100 words we said, and it was all there to scroll through the full conversation. And all of a sudden at the end, she just said, "That's not very nice." What the, like, oh my god, that's so creepy.
That's what just happened there. I must have like turned my hand and like pushed the button for Siri, and she just sat and recorded, and I scrolled through talking about lives and this and that.
It's updates. I've turned it off. I don't use Siri. I turn it, like any Siri type features off on every device that's any options for it. Like I never have used it, and I don't know why sometimes it just picks up and starts using. Right, Jackie? Exactly, Jackie. uh, Elon's testing out the new software. I mean, I don't have Twitter on my phone, so I don't know how. I mean, he's probably getting in from one of my 5,000 other apps.
Ken, I don't know if I emailed you and sent you my address or not, but I'll do that later today if I haven't already for that slab. And as far as thickness, what do you think for thickness on the slice? He was asking. He's gonna get the saw out.
I mean, I personally like the standard. What is that? I mean, I can measure it, but I like the pretty standard cab.
I'd say between a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch. I'd rather have a little extra to have to work through than get working and be like, oh crap.
Yeah, these are 1/4 inch. These are 1/4 inch, and most of my cabs are 1/4 inch.
1/4 inch to a 1/3 inch would be good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I talk.
Oh, you know what? I could even send you, because you're going to send me one that. So Ken's going to send us some. You were going to send me some. And this can be one of the ones.
Oh wait, is that from Robin?
Yeah, you have an identical slab.
I think I do.
You might have the sister slab that she cut off after mine.
Give me a moment. I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah, here's another one. I don't know. It went something like that. They're pretty cool mountains, though. I love picture jasper. That stuff is just so beautiful. So that is the old stock Biggs picture jasper. That is one of the old slabs from like 30 to 50 years ago. That came from Robin Vernon over on TikTok. So she has some amazing slabs. If you've not seen my old slab video, where I got 2 different boxes from her, you should definitely check that out because I got like, I don't know, 30 something slabs from her at one point that were just awesome.
A smaller chunk. I know I have a bigger one that's more almost identical to the other ones, but this is a smaller chunk I can find. The other one I have sitting on a dop stick somewhere.
I swear, yeah, when we got them, we both looked at them and they were like, must have been side by side slabs. At least some of the ones we got.
Cool. That works, Ken.
Let's see. No luck. They closed them all for the high surf. Oh, that's a bummer, Loki. He tried to go rock hounding at the beach after the storms. I haven't tried here. Maybe I'll wait till after the next storm. But all the beaches here are free parking up until the spring. But yeah, maybe I should bundle up a whole bunch one day and get back out there and do some winter beach hounding and look for some moonstone or something.
Do it.
Jackie said,
Greg, next time you're here, I'll let you take a box and fill it with material and stuff to take back with you and play with.
Greg, everyone can send me some, right? Right?
Granted, our plan works out with getting over to New York and everything. That'd be a lot of fun. But all right, so we already talked about best and worst videos. So yeah, I guess the next would be best and worst cabs. So
Right.
I don't have any examples of my worst ones because they're ones that I've just gone back and fixed at later dates and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I done one live stream early on in my content creating career and YouTube career, and it didn't do very well with the polishing. People complained about it being loud and the noise and stuff like that. So I didn't do any polishing content until my channel hit 1,000 subscribers, like over a year later. So there was a bunch of stuff I did off camera in between. So I have my best one, but yeah, I don't have any of the worst ones anymore. So for me, my best is this piece right here. It is dendritic Kentucky agate, and I don't know if I'd consider it a cab, more like maybe a palm stone or worry stone. But this is the craziest Kentucky agate I've personally found. And this cab came out really, really nicely. And I did this on my flat lap, and I worked very hard on this. I think I spent like maybe 10 or 11 hours on it, just making sure it was absolutely perfect. No little micro scratches or anything like that. The only thing you can look on it and see is pitting, and that's just because of the material. So the only thing I could do more to this would be to take it to the higher grit wheels on the Cab King and just maybe get it to a nicer, higher polish. But other than that, I mean it's completely perfect
Yeah.
in my opinion. Um, I should get it set up in a way where I can turn around, but it's cold and I don't really want to do that. Hopefully, this is enough for you guys to see. I mean, I've shown this thing before. We've seen close-ups of it in a couple of videos, but yeah, dendritic Kentucky agate. So you can see this layer here is the banding of the agate, and it's just got some dendrites hanging out right inside of it. Really, really cool stuff. Um, and I would have to say worst cab. I didn't even finish it. I don't even know if I still have it. I think I might have just got rid of it. But for one one brief period of my life, we'll say maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I was hooked on the idea of getting my hands on some Tortella agate and polishing some Tortella agate. I thought the stuff was beautiful. I thought it was going to be great. And oh my God, is it the most disgusting material to work with in the world? It smells horrendous.
Dude, I have like 5 pieces over here that are started, and I had to wear my respirator to do them. Like, you have to wear a full respirator. You choke on it. It tastes like the dead bottom of a lake because that's what it is.
Yeah. Things. I was like, man, that'd be really pretty. That's really. I love the idea of an agate made of shells, and that the concept of the stone. Awesome. If I see a polished piece somewhere for a decent price, I'm gonna grab it. Am I gonna make anything with it? Absolutely not. No thanks. It stinks. Not worth it.
I've got
I don't like
pieces I'm gonna finish. I have one I almost finished the other day, but
ooh, tumbling. I couldn't imagine tumbling it, Ken. Ooh. That just sounds like it just sits and stews. Yeah, Swamp Thing agate for sure.
no, don't tumble it. I tumbled a piece, and when I opened it, I thought I was gonna have to call the hazmat.
That's what Ken was saying. He said he tumbles it sometimes, and Arrow is an experience. Oh, in the Florida heat too? Ooh, baby.
So here's one I recently started because it had some nice shells in it. And it was a good, very solid piece, but look at the pitting that showed up.
So beautiful, but it is. If there was a way to capture in a video the aroma that comes from polishing that stone.
If anyone would like, you can send me shipping cost and I will grind a bunch up into powder for you to smell.
Geodude poop, really.
But
oh my. See, it is pretty. It is really beautiful material, and I wish it wasn't the way it is. But I don't know.
Oops.
Broken.
Dropped it.
I don't know what it is with me. It just like certain textures of things and certain smells of things. I can't do it. My brain just checks out. Can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, in the black light, it's amazing.
Really gorgeous.
Sorry, I'm holding this up in the air at like half arm's length. So I'm a little shaky. Let me try and reposition here. Damn. Yeah, it's hard to hold it like that, like out. So you guys can see, I'm just like going like this to the camera, trying to hold it still. Yeah, it's a bummer. I really do like that material for sure, but it was a pain. But the good news of doing that though is it made me realize just how much particles are in the air when you're working with stones. And honestly, since then, I've been wearing a respirator with even more and more pieces than I ever used to, just because silicosis of the lung is not a joke for lapidary artists. It's like a very serious thing.
Scary thing too. Like it's I before I was a lapidary artist, I worked in the masonry field. I worked at a company where we manufactured cinder blocks. When I first started there, I was a grunt, basically shoveling gravel 24/7 on the. It felt like it was a 24-hour day, but I would be there like 10, 11-hour days. And then I moved up to forklifts, and then I moved over and I was a stone cutter. So I pre-cut cinder blocks for building crews, and then sometimes it'd be custom cuts and stuff like that. And they beat that into my head was like the dangers of just breathing in any of it. So I always had a full respirator and goggles and stuff like that. Always coming home with marks on my face, and They wouldn't go away. I would work Monday through Saturday. Monday I'd go to work. Tuesday I'd get up. I still had the marks on my face. Just put my mask back on, same spot. Wouldn't really go away till Sunday.
Yeah.
But it is no joke.
Ken, I gotta say real quick, were you just saying boiled cabbage smells bad? Because I'm one of those people who loves it. I come in the room, you said boiled cabbage. I just read that in the chat. I was like, my mouth's watering a little bit.
I have to agree. I like boiled cabbage as well.
Oh, dude, I'm just thinking about corned beef and cabbage now. Like, oh.
That's that's the that's the poor side of me because we had boiled cabbage a lot.
Dude, corned beef and cabbage is like gotta be one of my favorites. Oh.
Oh yeah, and I'm Irish, so we were all about that, bro. Corned beef hash season comes around. Oh, love it.
Yeah. Well, I'll pull up my best here because I don't have it anymore. I mean, I sold, I feel like most of my best cabs this year. But there was a few, the ones I made like this, like the different little pendants I made, and some of the best ones sold.
Corned beef cabbage egg rolls, Jackie. I'm gonna need like 4 of those, frozen and overnighted. Just kidding. Or a recipe. I love cooking.
I gotta find this video, but that picture Jasper was a really good one right there. That was one of my favorites. I actually do still have that one. Maybe that should be my favorite. Yeah, but where is? Oh, you know what? I just realized. Actually, one of them that sold.
Angie, you're right. It's cold out. She could send it 3-day.
No, no, it is.
Oh man.
I lied. Okay. I thought maybe it was sitting over to the side here. I did mail it off, but yeah, the best ones were. Do you remember the? I think it was called Rooster Tail. It was the very red. It was like the red plume maggot.
Mm-hmm.
That one, which I'm trying to find here and scroll through, has to be one of my favorite um, cabs I made this year. But then my overall favorite thing that I feel like was my most challenging thing that I made this year was this little guy. Well, maybe not this year, just in total. Was this over a year ago? Man, I lost track of time. It doesn't want to focus for me. Being a pain. My little facet.
Oh man, I haven't. Is that Loki Menudo? Is that the soup? Is that what you're talking about? I haven't had that soup in years, over a decade. I grew up with Puerto Ricans and Hispanics. Crazy Cuban people.
There we go. This has to be one of the best things I've made ever.
Oh yeah, freaking faceting on his flat lap.
No facet machine. That was all freehand. No measurements. All eyeball and freehand. On a little dop stick with wax. With a golden, look at that golden needle in there. There's a little unknown golden inclusion.
Ken may have to close the window soon. Temp just dropped to 72. And yeah, I think my temp just dropped down to 33 now. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm also thinking it's rutile. Some people say rutile. I'm not sure which is proper.
Rutile is what I call.
Right? I always had said rutile, but then a couple people recently and some TikTok geologist guy says rutile. And I don't know if it's like a British versus US thing or what, but
Last time I argued with a TikTok geologist, my video got banned, okay? So I don't trust anything they say.
right. So my worst is for sure wasn't even really up to debate for me. Once we said best and worst, I was like, I know what my worst cabs are because they sit in a pile in their own special little drawer over here, mocking me and laughing at me, just looking at me and making nasty little faces. And I got a whole little pile of them here to show you.
Landon, what kind of snakes do you have? That's awesome. Landon's got 3 snakes. I have a bearded dragon named Charmander. Oh,
Kyle's not
Yeah.
here to appreciate this right now, but this is the bane of my lapidary existence. Is this obsidian?
Tumble them into submission.
This has been the hardest thing for me to work because my wheels were contaminated when I got to these. I know they don't look shiny at all right now. I took a bunch of them back a few wheels, and that's why is I've been restarting a bunch of them, and they've all gone back to the stage where I'm trying to remove some scratches. But in my old video, I did these ones, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one all together, and my polishing wheels were contaminated. And that's where Lisa came in and saved the day. Lisa bought me new wheels, but I've been so angered by the obsidian since then that I have not redone these pieces to finish that polish. But you can see some awesome, awesome colors in all this obsidian.
What kind of snakes, Landon? That is pretty stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my worst.
Jackie just hooked me up with a slice of obsidian, so I'm gonna be testing it out soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting back into those, and I'm gonna repolish those this year. And now that I've got the cerium oxide, I think it'll go pretty well.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think should be our next category for best and worst? So we've already gone over best and worst cabs and best and worst videos. So we can do best and worst rock hounding experiences, best and worst finds. Not that many people really keep their worst finds. But
Yeah,
I know I've got a couple things sitting around. Ooh, that's pretty.
yeah. This is the
Or is that from your mystery?
the mystery person who I found out was LXR.
Nice.
Who I went and met up with in my last video, and we went and got the Payson diamonds. But yeah, he turns out he was the secret sender of
It
these.
looks kind of like Silver Sheen obsidian. Not what you're looking at. Sorry, talking to Jackie.
Yeah.
It looks like Silver Sheen. It's got some bands of silver in there. Oh, ball python and 2 corn snakes. That's awesome.
Some great rainbow obsidian. It's not even wet.
Slack it.
Look at that. It's like the Aurora Borealis.
Better save me some scraps for that, buddy.
Oh yeah, you'll get a piece of that. I mean, I was never sure if I just want to like polish the whole face of this one, like that have like an amazing giant specimen, you know? I thought about cutting just a big, maybe like this part out right here, like just this piece as one display, and then use this for some cabs. Oh, it's so hard to decide with a piece like this. Like the decisions, it's so terrifying to think of messing it up too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I need a chat with Kyle. I know it's pricey stuff. I ain't got money, but I got rocks.
Yeah, I don't know if Kyle has any of this type of rainbow. He might. I mean, I know he has some rainbow. I don't know if his looks quite like this. This is some of Robin's old stock.
Oh, that's right. That was from Robin. That's right. Because yeah, that's how you tracked it down. Was on our video.
Exactly, Ken. So like Ken's saying, I also don't know if I can take myself to take it down. So I've got these other two. So there's that one. But then I've got these two. And these two I'm more willing, I think, to bust down. They've got great color. And they'll make great cabs. They've got some oil on it, so the water's not spreading well. But
I don't know. I would cut him.
imagine having a huge enough chunk of this type of obsidian that you could sphere it. That's a planet, dude. That would look exactly like a planet if you could just sphere that piece.
That'd be wicked.
Oh man, yeah. So anyway, yeah. I missed if people said in the chat, were they thinking best and worst finds? Because I've got that right here as well, or at least best finds.
You, if you took that piece, you could see how big of a square you could get from it, and try and do squares, and you can just always glue those pieces together and try and get them really solid and make your own cube, and then just polish it if you can get them together enough.
That could be interesting.
I mean, they make man-made stuff like that all the time. They fuse stuff together and just get the right glue or cement or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Ken had said, "What's your most embarrassing life moment?" Yeah, that's for another podcast, not this one.
All right. A triangular-shaped chunk of raw rainbow obsidian. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. When we were at the gem show, Dave from Bonnie and Clyde, who I was up there doing the gem show with, he sold a, man, how big was it? I want to say 50 to 60 pound chunk. I'm gonna have to go and look at him on my streams. I show it in the stream. Super chalked up, like that. You can see some of
Your
some of the
video's frozen
luster.
on my side. Wait. Oh, you just came back. Okay, no.
Yeah,
Back.
you were.
Okay. Yeah, you're back. You're good.
Best worst purchase piece. That's another good one. Let's do best worst rock hunting experience first, and then we can do best worst purchase piece. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what was up with that.
Yeah, it was weird. Your voice was still coming through. Then it got a little choppy, and then the picture was frozen, but your voice was coming through, and it just got half froze for a minute. It's all good now.
Weird. All right, do you want to go first? Best and worst rock hunting experience?
Oh, sure. I guess as a lot of people know, my best has got to be my most recent Herkimer Diamond experience, where I pulled the 13-ounce 8-piece Herkimer out that I did glue back together. But this has to be probably my best rock hounding experience ever, because this thing is worth literally hundreds of dollars. But it was just also so amazing to get to say I found this massive Herkimer.
That's awesome.
It was quite an experience getting out there and hard rock mining like that all day. I've never been more tired in my life from rock hounding. It was the most well-earned rest I've ever had for like 2 days.
Heck yeah, I would have slept like a baby.
And this got this little tiny one from there too. I like the little baby ones, but it's one of the only little ones that I kept. I sold and/or gave away pretty much all of the Herkimers of the tiny ones, except this one, because this was one of the first ones I found. Super water clear, although now it's covered in fingerprints. Very, very clear. It had a baby attached right there that I knocked off. It had a little tiny one, and that's what that little mark is a second crystal that popped off, but yeah. My worst, though. That's a fun one. I don't think I've talked about it much because I scrapped the video and everything. I never wanted to really talk about it because I wasted nearly 12 to 14 hours to get absolutely nothing. Like, we drove to a place. So this is when I still lived in Idaho, and when I very first started my channel. It was just after like my Graveyard Point channel or video that went really big and got like 4,000 views. Bless you, knocking things over.
I forgot to have another propane tank over here. I'm gonna plug my heater back in.
Oh, no. Yeah, get some heat going. So yeah, my buddy and I, Troy, we went up and we went out to an area that was supposed to have some amazing crystals, or so we had found in some old reports, but us being dumb and not thinking about it, did not reference the land with any claim maps or BLM maps or anything. And we got out to this area after, I think it was about a 4.5 hour drive from my house to get to this spot. And then the whole way up, we just saw nothing but fences and fences and fences. We're like, there's not even anywhere to pull over on the road and even look at what's on the road. It was just miles of fence right up against the road and a bunch of ranches. And we got to the area that we were supposed to, have a nice rock hounding area. And it turns out it was all fenced off and was all private land. And they were really old. It was really old information we had. And we didn't bother double checking it. And that was our huge mistake. So we kept driving even further down the road and just tried to find anywhere we could get off and look. And from maps that we had, we did look up BLM land, and it said it was BLM land all over there. But it had all these private fences, ranchers, brand new houses going up. It looks like they just turned it into like new ranching development out in the middle of seemingly nowhere in the mountains in Idaho. So we drove around up and down that road for over an hour trying to just find somewhere to stop before we ended up turning around on that road and going way back down. And it was just crazy because it was like a long canyon road, just huge long canyon, and nothing but fences and gates the entire way and nowhere to go to look for anything. And we drove for hours and hours to get back and down to a lake. And we pulled over for like 5 minutes and we like looked at some rocks and was like, there's nothing exciting over here. And now we've still got to drive hours and hours back home. And that sucked. That had to be my worst rock hounding experience. Just drove all day for nothing at all. I mean, we hung out and talked, but it was a bummer. Didn't even get to stop in like Gold Pen anywhere or anything. And it was rough. Definitely one of the worst rock hounding experiences. Looking for Morgan Poppy Jasper. Sounds like Loki's had a similar experience. Got skunked and found nothing, I'm assuming. I'm just reading back up through. Ooh. Running through stinging nettles and twisting your ankle in a hole 2 miles from the car. That sucks, Ken. When I was in the Idaho Gym Club, I helped a gentleman who was, I think he's a bit older than me, but he was extremely exhausted, and the whole club didn't notice and was leaving, and everyone got in their cars and was packing out. And I looked back and I saw this guy like a little more than a half mile back up where we were, and like everyone got in their cars and left us. And I was like, oh snap! Like, is this guy okay? And I start running back there, and he was like tripping over himself and couldn't carry his bucket and had heat exhaustion, was like dehydrated, I think, and just having a little bit of issues. And I helped him get out and carried his stuff for him, and I'm glad he was okay. But yeah, it was a scary little moment. You got to be careful too, especially going out in groups or alone for reasons like that. And if he had been alone or left, that could have been not so good. Yeah. Unfortunately, he decided to keep going out that day, which I didn't know. Like, he said he was maybe thinking of going to another spot and invited me to go with him. I was like, no, dude, you need to go home. After all that, like, you have to go home. He's like, no, I'm going to go have lunch and rest for a while and then go back out. And I was like, I really think you should go home. I'm going home and you should too. Now that you're back to your car, please go home. But no, he went back out and he was okay. And he made it back to the next club meeting, but told us he ran into some rattlesnakes. The next place he went up to the road. And, he ran into rattlesnakes and then he left. So he didn't end up staying out, I think, for very long. But yeah, that was scary. That had to be a terrifying one for him. That wasn't one of my worst rock hounding. That was actually one of my best days until that little experience having to help him at the end. I felt really bad. But that was actually the trip where I found this big old bluish white giant geode half.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how much of that you heard when you went to grab refill your heat tank, your propane. But yeah, my worst experience, I just got skunked and we drove all day. Drove, and nothing.
I heard.
Okay. Wasn't sure run out of the garage for that.
No, I had to run in and grab a lighter to restart the heat thing.
Yeah.
Camping heater. I know the other lighter was too cold.
So yeah, what were some of your worst and or best?
Oh man. So I'll probably start with the best. would have to be times I've gone down to Kentucky. I've found a lot of nice things. But I think the best overall experience would have to be when Greg came to town and we went out and we did some camping with my brother and sister-in-law, and Greg came and met up with us. We didn't find much. He mentioned, he's like, I'm sure your worst day is going to be in poking around that field. No, that was actually one of my best experiences because it was just nothing but rock hounding. You know, we were out there, we were camping, we had a couple of days to camp and just, you know, time to spend to look around. I mean, we had some frustrations. We lost Chris. Chris, where'd you go? Uh-oh. There he is. Okay. We can't hear you. I think you're muted.
I am. One sec. Yeah, my girlfriend is calling. I was halfway in a call with her.
Oh no, you're
I'll
good.
be right back. My screen will freeze for a sec.
Okay, I didn't hear the BRB. My bad.
No, you're good. I'll hear you.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable to be able to go out. Like normally for me when I go rock hounding, I'm waking up. If I'm even sleeping, I'm waking up super early after sleeping, like maybe an hour. I'm driving 4 hours to get to the creeks to collect, whether I'm in Indiana or going out into Illinois. Collecting for a few hours and then 4 hours back home and doing it all in one day. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to that creek in the spring. I plan to. Um, but yeah, it's probably one of my top experiences was getting able to be out there camping. Plus, we got to see a UFO, is what we're just gonna call it. I got pictures, proof. I'll show everybody. I have to make a short, and that's probably going to be a short video that'll take off and go really well. But Iowa geode spot. I haven't technically found geodes in Iowa. Where I go for Keokuk geodes is within the Keokuk geode beds, but it's on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River. So I haven't technically gone into Iowa to look for them. I've never gone to Keokuk to find Keokuk geodes. You know, it's just some people.
Oh, no,
Time in the live chat wanted to, like, Chris could pop out and have somebody else pop so on. I'm the host, so I can't leave. If I were to leave, it would end it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was Loki's question, not Angie's. My apologies. But yeah, it was overall a great experience. That was probably the best. Like I said, with that would be like trips down to Kentucky. Nothing beats, you know, finding my first Kentucky agate. I actually have that here. Totally spaced on it. I was going to show this as one of my worst examples of polishing, because I was so afraid of losing any of the agate on it on my flat lap that there are a whole bunch of scratches left on this thing. Like you can just see all over the place, just scratched all to heck. And definitely be one I plan to revisit with the wheels and clean it up a bit. So yeah, that comes from one of my better experiences out there. Super fun, super exhilarating finding your first agate. Like for me, I've found like little Lake Superior agates and stuff like that, but Kentucky agates have been something I've wanted to find for a while. I technically found Kentucky agate before then, but I lost those stones somewhere along the way. Um, don't know where they are, and they're probably gone for good. But I had found when I was down in Kentucky. I was super young. I think I was maybe 8 or 9, and I was down there for a funeral. And since it was someone in my family, we spent a lot of time at the funeral home. And right behind it was a little creek. And right up the creek a little bit, they were doing construction and stuff. So I'd gone up there and basically found some big chunks of limestone that had crazy agate pockets sitting in it. And it was beautiful reds and whites and blacks and stuff like that. Really high end agates. If I still had it, it would be worth a good chunk of change. And probably at that time, my dad, who's a big old piece of garbage, probably sold them. You know, but that was I don't count those anymore. But yeah, so super exhilarating, fun to find Kentucky agates. You know, one of the many reasons why we want to get to Kentucky. Well, one of the reasons why I want to get to Kentucky is to be able to find more. But it's just beautiful, beautiful land out there. If you've ever had a chance to be to Kentucky or Tennessee or any of those states, it's gorgeous. I love the mountains, and it's big difference from growing up in Chicago.
Yeah,
So
lady,
for
there's a chance I'd want to go out. Like, I'm like, I might want to go camping in Kentucky this spring or summer. There's a small chance.
let me know. I'm planning to get down there too. So
Yeah,
if you if we plan it right, we'll have a good time.
yeah.
Um,
I'll be done. I'll graduate in the spring, and then my time is all my schedule.
I
Uh,
froze again. Really? What is going on
it was
with the
a
stream?
while ago. You froze. It was no. She didn't. Jackie, you didn't miss much. When he did freeze, it was.
My Wi-Fi turned on. iPhones, fix it. Okay, if I turn Wi-Fi off, leave it off. All right, don't turn it back on. You know how many times a day I have that happen where I turn my Wi-Fi off because it doesn't work and the regular network is better, and then it just decides, hey, we're gonna turn it back on and connect to your crappy Wi-Fi. Ah,
Yeah. When you froze on mine, it was just when you were answering Loki about the two people being on at once, so it wasn't too bad. But Ken asked about magnetics, and that's why I have this. Now the big thing is if it's very small amount of magnetics, a magnet might have a better time actually feeling it than even a nice. You have to get a really nice pinpointer, but like a large metal detector, no, it won't. But a little guy like this, let me turn it on. So here's some banded ironstone, and it's still, even though it's there, it's going off. I think from my phone actually. But look, this is banded ironstone that is magnetic, yet not going off on my metal detector. So you have to have a pretty nice. It kind of it depends on how much is in there really. But even with my pinpointer, that detects gold, and that's the funny thing is I've tested this, and it'll find little pieces of gold. It's more, I think, tuned for that. Um, like my large metal detector would pick up this ironstone, but it really depends how much is in there. Maybe this is a bad example. Maybe I should get a magnet and make sure this one is indeed as magnetic as I think it is. But I mean, I feel it. It's definitely a little magnetic. Oh, this one's for sure magnetic. But my pinpointer didn't pick it up near as much. So I hope that somewhat answers your question, Ken. Because you can't always use the metal detector, no, but if it's enough of a certain type of metal, then yes, you can. Just totally depends what's in there and what kind of metal detector you have and what it's tuned to find. Because the cheaper metal detectors are really tuned to actually find like coins. Um, it's funny how much, and there's a reason. Like when you use those cheap metal detectors, you find a bunch of bottle caps and pull tabs and aluminum cans. Because that's that kind of range that they're really tuned for because it has the aluminum and zinc and stuff that are in coins.
yeah,
More gold and iron. They're tuned to not. Those cheaper ones don't find small gold, or they even actually tune out a lot of iron to try and get away from finding just a bunch of rusty things.
gotcha. Yeah, sorry, Ken. I thought I had brought that geode out, so I was over trying to find it. The one with the pyrolusite. Yeah, Ken or Greg said it. I'm not. I don't think that would show up on a metal detector. I don't think that's an iron related mineral growth. I believe it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a manganese related metal. I'd have to go and rewatch because I can't remember the info I found out about it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does
I don't
pyrolusite saved or not?
or be detected. I don't know anything about metal detectors at all. So really glad Rufo was here to pick that one up because yeah, don't know.
Yeah, they
um,
definitely. So here's even some big pyrite. All the forms of pyrite do not interact with metal detectors whatsoever. Like that solid pyrite, zero reaction, even with any of my metal detectors. Yeah, that's why they call this one fool's gold too. It won't even you won't even find it when you're metal detecting. It won't even trick you.
yeah, yeah. Tennessee is also a great place. Um, the Tennessee painted stone, I think is what they call it. That's what they call their agate down there, is painted stone. Really, really pretty stuff. Really, I feel like I think it's a little harder to find than Kentucky agate, but I mean, given how similar the terrain is in certain spots of Kentucky and Tennessee, and the way the glaciers flew through and made the mountains and all that, very, very possible that they're finding agates in both places. I still need to find where they're finding this Indiana agate, because I've seen pictures and examples that look like similar to like a Crowley Ridge agate, just a straight up nodule with bands and stuff, 100% an agate, and they say it's from Indiana. But
Right? Oh, yeah, you got
I,
to find that out for sure. You saw in my recent video this banded shirt.
oh yeah,
This
really,
stuff
really.
was awesome and just full of fossils.
Loki, I can't say I have found or I haven't come across the Stone Ranger. I'll have to check them out. Um, I'll get a metal detector at some point. Couple other toys first. I really want to get a drone. There's a certain drone I've got my eye on. There's actually somebody I'm talking to that is interested in trading geodes for a drone. So come springtime, we'll see how that goes, and if that works out, that'd be really cool, because it is also a drone that is 1 gram underneath the weight restriction for needing to go and get the classes and do all that.
That's what they do for a lot of them. Like,
it's got really,
found.
really pretty picture quality. I've watched probably 100 videos that have been made about it, how to use it, videos made with it and stuff like that. And I'm so excited. So that's the main thing I'm focused on right now. I've even considered selling some of my Pokemon collection to get it, because if I were to buy the drone straight up, I could find it for like maybe $300-400, and that's like, if I take some of my higher end cards, it's like a half a dozen cards.
Yeah.
But I don't know. One day. I still need to talk about worst rock hounding experience.
Yeah, you do. I'll just sit and show pretty things while you do that.
Oh, it's a pretty high end drone. It's retail is like $500, but it's got tracking and everything in it and stuff like that too. So I'd be very, very
Oh no.
things like that. I'd have to look up the rules and regulations for the parks down in Indiana and stuff like that. But I don't think I'd have any issues.
Dude.
And this drone, let me tell you, I watched a guy, and he tested the range on his, and I think he got it like 5 miles away from him before he had to turn around and come back and made it back in time before he ran out of battery. So nice. The creek that I hunt, I know this creek runs like 3 miles, and I've heard that the further up you go, the bigger the geodes get. And I haven't ventured all the way up, because I don't want to walk 3 miles to find a big geode, and then I'm gonna take it out. That's plain and simple why. If I see it, I find it, I'm gonna take it out, no matter how long it takes me, and it's just gonna happen. So I think it'd be really, really awesome to be able to just go to the entrance of it and then launch the drone and just have the drone fly right over the creek all the way to the end of it, and then just turn around and come back. I feel like that'd be really cool. So
I just spilled a whole tray of diamonds of micro Herkimers.
Oh, that's what they're asking.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I do? I'm like, oh, what did you do?
So this actually automatically just got bumped up to one of my worst experiences of 2023 so far. I was actually working on a video, and I was just going to show you guys a little sneak peek behind the scenes. All of these little bits right here, these are all little micro Herkimer diamonds that were inside the calcite that I just dissolved. I just dissolved a bunch of chunks of calcite from Herkimer, and it had a whole bunch of little Herkimers in there.
That's awesome.
And I just dropped some of the biggest and best ones.
Whoops.
They weren't very big, but they were like this. But there was one, at least I got some really cool video of it. That's a little double. It's a little tiny double Herkimer. And it's, oh, here it is. Oh, I think that one survived. Is this it? No, that's not it. Dang it. Anyway, at least I got some really cool video. That's a bummer, though. I was going to show y'all guys some of those little diamonds and then show you this. Is the gold coin that I got for Lisa at the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's awesome.
But Lisa's not here tonight, unfortunately. I haven't noticed her. She might be watching on the TV.
I haven't seen it, no.
Yeah, I think if she's not watching on the TV, then she just might catch it later. She might be busy right now. I haven't seen Lisa today or in the chats. But I wasn't in yours yesterday or the podcast, so I missed a lot. Ah,
Back to my
yeah,
worst experiences before
so sorry.
Rufo so rudely interrupted with one of his worst experiences.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Um, so for me, there's one creek. I haven't filmed in this creek. Um, this isn't a creek I found on my own. This is a creek that was shown to me by a fellow Rockhound who's requested not to film there for the sake of privacy and not having a good overrun, which is perfectly fine because there are people that sit and do the due diligence and find out where I go. And I've had a handful of people reach out and be like, "Hey, is this where you go?" And if they find it, I'll tell them. I always tell people I'm not keen on giving out where I collect, but if you do the research and do what I did, and you can come across it that way, then cool. Because I have a couple that I've been told about, and I have a couple that I've found on my own. So, but these two bad experiences both occur in the same creek, and very glad that I was not recording during these because it would probably make really good content. But which do I tell you first? Well, okay, first one happened um, as I'm getting ready to leave the creek, and I happened to come across a nice little not so friendly swarm of wasps, and I'm obviously walking and I'm looking down and looking for geodes. This is another creek in Indiana, so it's plentiful with geodes. So I'm trying to be more specific. This creek is a creek where I find more of my uh, more predominant geodized fossils, like this one here. That's the crinoid calyx, where you can still see some more of the detail. Chunks like this, where it's geodized, but it's still the fossil. Like this is a spiraled uh, Platycrinites is the name of it. So I'm looking down, and just happened to walk through this little swarm of wasps, and they weren't too keen on that. They were pretty angry with me, and started to kind of chase after me and dive at me. So I just start running, and I drop the backpack I had with me at the time, which thankfully didn't have a whole lot in it, and I had left my buckets towards the entrance of where I got into this creek. And I was probably maybe like a couple hundred yards away, and I just resorted to the old school, like Looney Tunes, jumped in the water and just kind of hung out in the water until they disappeared. Put my head under the water when they were getting close, and I literally had to wait for, I don't know, a good half hour because they didn't go away. They were just waiting there, and it was a part of the creek too where it was just kind of like a deep pool, so I couldn't like swim away where they wouldn't be able to see me or anything. So it was crazy. It was terrifying. Um, wasn't a big fan of bees and wasps before then, and now I just have a hatred for them. Now I know they help, Mother Nature and all that, but no me gusta, no me gusta nada. So
No, that sucks. That's no. Yeah, that's horrible.
I threw a bamboo shoot underwater. If I had a straw, I'd be breathing through it. Just be sitting under there, just because that's what I would do. I'd hold my breath and I'd like go underneath so I could look up and I could still just see them like
No,
flying stuff, and I'm like, this is just
I've seen that cartoon. They just fly in the straw. They just fly down the bamboo.
right. I saw that episode. I'm not doing that. And then second time in that creek, I was there, and I had two more similar experiences like this. One time when I had somebody with me, a rock hounding companion, and then another time I was solo. So the first time it happened, I was with somebody. Basically, we were in the same creek, and to get to this creek, we parked by the road, and there's a public access, like just a little divot down where there's a storm drain underneath the road, little 2-lane road in the country, and you're totally allowed to collect there. I cross my T's, dot my I's, make sure I'm not going anywhere I'm going to get in trouble, especially given that I'm from out of state. I drive 4 hours there, 4 hours back to get there. I don't want to go and wind up getting in trouble for something stupid, but in a place where we're totally allowed to collect. But where this creek where you get in, so say this is the road right here, and the creek runs this way. So we get in right around here, and you start going through the creek, and this area is public, but then you get to a point where the public land stops, and there's an embankment up to your right, about 4 or 5 feet, and then up there is somebody's property. So if you're going in through this little public easement or whatever the heck the proper term is, if you're going right there where the storm drain is, you're good. You obviously can't climb this embankment and go on these people's property because it is fenced off and stuff like that. So mind you, this property is up above us, and we're down in the creek. And we've been down there for a little bit. We walk, and basically the creek comes to a T. We walk to the left a bit, and we come back and we're walking to the right a bit. And this property, even though I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to, they ran barbed wire across the creek from one end of the land to the other end of the land, blocking the creek so nobody can walk through the water. So obviously we see this and we're not we don't even go anywhere near it.
Right? I think that's illegal like everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Own the water, but we respected it. I wanted to be a smart Alex City kid like I grew up being, and just go over there anyways. Yeah, or break it down or tear it down. But we respect it. We ignore it. We turn around. We're starting to head out, and this lady comes and approaches us from on this property, and this is 4 or 5 feet up above us, and she. I'm a little further away, and the person I'm rock hunting with is up this way, and she starts screaming at him, and he's never been there before. He's from out of state and stuff like that, and I'm hosting him around and things like that. So he's caught off guard, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I'm walking over, and then this lady starts screaming, trying to talk some crazy legal mumbo jumbo, saying, "This is our property. We own the creek. You can't be in there. Like this and that, this and that. There are no trespassing signs everywhere." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, there's no trespassing signs. There's no fence blocking us from getting down here. We entered the creek at a public spot, and this is navigable water. Like this water is deep. It's up to our waist in certain points. You don't own the creeks. You own up there on your embankment." And basically I just schooled this lady with knowledge, and I even showed her, because what they do is in these spots where it can be difficult to differentiate, they mark the trees with either a colored banner, or they spray painted a certain color signifying if it's private property or if it's public land. And all these trees are spray painted. So I started pointing out, I'm like, "You see that little spot and that just talking to her about it." And I'm like, "This is public land. This is, we're allowed to be here. We're not bugging anything. We're not, damaging the creek. We're not panning for gold or anything like that." Because that's what she thought. She's like, "There's no gold out here, blah, 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 blah." Yeah, purple paint. That's what it was. It was purple, but it had sun faded, so it looked a little more pink. But yeah, it was purplish, pinkish, and it was all good to go. And it was just such a pain. So we just get fed up with it, and I de-escalate the situation. And it's not even her property. I know the name of the guy who owns the property. So if there was ever a time where somebody did approach me, I was told by people, like I said, this creek was shown to me by fellow Rockhounds. So this is people from that area who know that area, frequent it, and they just have told me, if somebody sees out of state plates, they might get a little hostile and blah blah blah. Just mention this name, and you'll be okay. So then, towards the end, I mentioned, I'm like, "You're not so and so or so and so. You're not the son or father that live here. So I don't even know what you're talking about." And she's like, "Well, these are my friends." And I'm like, "Well, if you have a problem, you can call Mr. So and so, and he can come out and he can talk to me, because I know I'm not doing anything wrong, but you're out here acting a fool and being crazy. So we're just gonna go." So we left. Whatever. That was that. And then maybe a month or two later, I'm back out there solo, and this chick comes back again with her crazy boyfriend. And this time the dude's got a shotgun, and it's just like, "You're not supposed to be here." And then the girl walks up and starts talking smack again. And I'm like, "I literally talked to you the last time. I was like, I de-escalated it right away, and I was like, listen, unless you want to have some some sort of physical altercation for having a weapon right now when you don't need to have one, I was like, I'm gonna do what I feel fit to defend myself. So if that means picking up a rock, big ass rock next to me and whipping it at your face, I'm gonna do that because I'm not doing anything wrong. So if you want to go get the owner of the property to come out and talk about it, we can handle it that way. And at that point they did have the guy come out, and I told the guy who I knew and who I was very good friends with, and I called up on the phone and said, "Hey, if you want to talk to so and so, I can call him right now." And the guy, the owner of the property, knew about me, knew I was going to be out there and collecting and everything like that, and he just like tore into these two, and he's like, "Quit acting like this is your damn property, like this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah." He's not doing anything about here but appreciating nature, like leave him alone. But yeah, it was pretty spicy. I grew up in the not so great parts of Chicago, so I've had weapons pulled on me before, but typically it's smaller caliber. I've never had somebody just you're not supposed to be here. I'm like, whoa, that's one way to greet somebody. That was the first thing I heard was I stood up and he's like, you're not supposed to be here. I was like, whoa, man. chill it out.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, dude was probably pulling a Walter White in a trailer on the edge of the property. Is why.
Yeah, it's crazy. But see, that's the thing too. Travis said wear safety colors. A lot of the time, especially that time of year when I'm out there, I was wearing my safety orange or my safety yellow work sweatshirts that I would wear when I was working in the factories and stuff, because we have safety colors we're supposed to wear. And I even went out there once. I literally have a vibrant yellow with stripes down here and stripes across the middle that are the reflective material and stuff. I always make sure to know, like, people know I'm a human because they hunt out there and stuff too. So there's definitely times where they're out there hunting. I've made videos where I've been out there like collecting, and I'll just stop and pause because you just hear doo 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 going off in the mountains somewhere or in the hills.
Dude, people suck. Like, yeah, we were out on a GPA claim. Oh, hold up. What's the chat doing? Oh, chat covered your face up. I couldn't see if you were still talking, and then it got quiet. We were out on a GPAA claim, which is the Gold Prospectors Association of America, or something like that. But we were out on a claim that's owned by the conglomerate, whatever. But we're members of the GPAA. We're allowed to be there, and it's a claim that like hundreds of people would use. And we're out there one day, and these two guys just show up and start threatening us. They're like, "Get off our property! This is our claim. You can't be here." I was like, "Oh, wait, really? Because this ID card right here of mine says I can, and those signs that say this is a GPA claim that you're standing on." And he's like, "No, this is our claim. This is our property." I'm like, "Nope, there's the signs right there. See the claim markers? And then see the other claim marker a quarter mile up there? This whole huge area is their claim." And he's like, "No, this is mine. I don't recognize their claims." I'm like, "You don't recognize the government claims, and you're saying this is your..." I'm like, and I was like, "So you're not a GPA member?" He's like, "No, this is my claim." And I'm like, "Okay, great."
I'm not a person. I'm an individual.
Right? Like, I don't follow the government. I said this is my claim, despite that someone paid thousands and thousands of dollars for the claim.
I come out here twice a month and I spit everywhere. This is my claim.
Right? And me and my buddy, luckily my buddy Troy's always packing, and he just kind of stretches up, shows his gun, and is like, "Yeah, well, my license says otherwise." And the guy's like, "Yeah, oh, yeah, they weren't packing."
Yeah, it can be spicy in Kentucky too. Whenever I go out with Mike, he was always had protection handy. I won't elaborate more than that, but he always had protection handy because he said people get a little crazy because there are same thing claims. There are claims out there in the mountains. If you're in the rivers and stuff, it's fair. But he said stupid things have happened, and stupider things have happened for agates.
The funniest thing about that place, fly poop. No one makes the money gold mining there. It is not a place where you can make good money gold mining. There's no nuggets out there in that spot. They're trying to start a fight over making pennies, man. Pennies.
Go out in a geode costume that you can just blend. I want to do that. Make a geode costume. Do it. Just have a blanket with like 3D printed geodes on it, so it looks like the terrain like laid out.
Camouflage.
Oh man. If I ever get a 3D printer, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try and 3D print realistic looking geotabs that I can just glue and yeah, I'm gonna do that. Thank you. Great idea.
Oh, we just hit 100 minutes.
Woo! Great idea, Travis. All right.
That's a good one.
That and Ken, I saw what you said about keeping a 12 under the bed when you lived in Denver for a while. No rounds with it. And figured the sound of racking it wouldn't scare off anyone. I was doomed anyway. Sounds about right.
Diggin, if you're asking what state I was talking about, that was out in Idaho, which it's Idaho. It makes sense.
Yeah, and I was in Indiana when that happened. I would probably have, if I was in Illinois collecting somewhere, I would have probably had a little bit more of an aggressive response, just because I tend to be a little hot headed and quick tempered. But being I was the out of state party, and I just feel like the legal system would have that bias against me because I'm some dude from the Chicagoland area, probably down here just causing a ruckus. You know, I'm not trying to. But if I was in Illinois somewhere and somebody just, if I had rocks with me, I'd be nonstop.
Right? I'm trying to like always avoid people. I just be like, don't mind me. I'm just nope on my own. Like I don't want confrontation with that shit. Like had my buddy not been there, I'd have just been like, yep, you guys have fun at your claim. I'm leaving. I reported him either way to the GPA, but like and the local gold claim people. But yeah,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm a little bit the opposite. Somebody comes up to me, and if they're the aggressor, like my mind, like, and especially if somebody like if they were even just to come up and just put a finger, my mind just hears cha-ching, like free, 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 free reign. You know.
In my mind, I am.
Oh,
In reality, no.
Rumble.
But yeah, did we want to talk about anything else before we end up wrapping it up today?
I don't know. Is there any other best and worst that anybody who's watching want to hear about?
Right, I've got so many best finds, man.
Oh yeah,
That's
we didn't do
cool.
best finds. Let's do
Oh,
What
your best
some,
find. I mean, I did because I talked about my Herkimers, but you didn't. Your best find.
hmm. Well, I have a lot. I have a lot of best finds. So
Yeah, same. I mean
if we're
that
going to
Herc.
go best size wise, we'll we'll say that guy right there because that's my biggest geo. That's the whole one. But then we've got a couple different things. I think I would call this my best find from my most recent rock hounding, which was in Missouri. This is a big chunk of druzy, crazy, but these these circles and swirls that you see inside of here are imprints of stromatolites.
Yeah, that one's awesome, dude.
So this one's got a lot of really cool stuff going on inside of it. Biggest find, probably the best find, and then this end here you can kind of see a little bit more of the agate and druzy going on in it, but just super cool. Super cool to have those stromatolites underneath there. I was out there with Dustin Finds Rocks, and we were walking in this place where we're not going to say where we were, upon his request, but we were at the spot, and I flipped it over and I saw it, and I just kind of started silently freaking out, and then I called him over and I was like, dude, is this because he was just talking to me about how they formed and how they think it's stromatolites that agatize and so on, and I'm like, these are castings of stromatolites, bro. And he started freaking out too. And he's like, dude, that's a big piece. He's like, if you don't take it out, I'm taking it. I was like, I'm bringing it. I don't care if this is the only thing I take from this spot. I'm bringing it. Immediately walked it back to the truck.
Right,
That's pretty.
dude. It's hard for me to choose a favorite. These smoky quartz were awesome. The smoky quartz was insane. I got a bunch more right there.
That's really pretty.
It's hard. Look at this is my shelf of favorites. This is why I can't pick one. This is my shelf of favorites. Most of them I found. A handful are gifts or trades. And yes, digging. I did see that. Before I go, I guess I'll say, since you're here, I did see your email. I'm definitely going to respond. I got setting up for the live and stuff, but yeah, I'll message you after we're done with the podcast today. Yeah, dude, the stromatolite ones you have, and that other fossil plate you sent me, those ones are sweet.
I have so many of those fossil plates. Literally, underneath that Quikrete right there, that bin is completely full of fossil plates from that same location.
It's a ton.
The only one I really care to keep is where is it? Right here, because that spot I was at was known to have trilobites, and this is the only piece that I picked up. It didn't have a full trilobite, but right above my finger, that's a trilobite butt, so I call it a trilobut.
A trilobut.
And on this side, there's a couple little scraps of like some of the shedded exoskeleton or whatever. Not a full one either. But some people go there. It's the Saint Leon road cut. It's a very famous road cut for the fossils and for the pyrite and stuff like that. Yeah, Haunted Ridge stuff was really pretty. But yeah, people go there. There's one guy I know that goes there, and he'll leave with a dozen rolled trilobites because you'll find them. They'll roll out of the shale or the limestone, whatever the host is. So I definitely want to get back there. I definitely want to record when I'm there. When I went, it was like 98 degrees out, and this is a big road cut, so it was super hot. I tried to record, but it was too hot for my phone.
Yeah, I've been to spots like that where I'm literally, my phone's cooking in the heat.
Yeah,
middle of summer, Idaho.
A few of those instances where I haven't been able to record a trip because it was just too hot. I'll start recording and I'll get like maybe a few minutes in, but then after that, it's like, what's the sense? Nobody wants to watch the intro and be like, all right, get ready to watch me Rockhound, and then here's 45 seconds of Rockhound.
This has got to be one of my best finds, actually. Any of the graveyard plume agate is insane. You've got to have a few pieces sitting around that I sent for you. What I sent to you. This one could almost be a knife. It's got some sharp edges there.
So.
Oh, Angie, this one doesn't have a price. I think this one, well, yeah, I don't know if I can put a price on this one. This is one that's going to stay on my display, I think. I've got some more pieces of it I can polish.
All right. So, I have another best finds and best experience, I guess. I kind of forgot about this because this one was 27. This was over a decade ago that I found these. This was probably maybe 12 years ago, 11 to 12 years ago. I found these fossil plates, and what was cool about these was I was up in northern Illinois near the Fox River. I forget what town it was in, but basically it was an area of the Fox River that, if you know the Fox River, it's a fairly decent sized river. Enough where you don't want to go out swimming in it and probably end up losing your life. But there's a spot there where it got pretty wide, right next to a road, and there was a place where people would park off, and then there's another little strip of land in the middle, and people would go and they would do whitewater rafting there because the water would churn up real well, and it was a good spot for it. So what the city did was they decided to put in a little footbridge to get out there. So what they did was they went out to this little strip of island and they just dug out what was there and they put it off on the banks and then put the bridge up. So I went and started looking through the rocks that were there, and I started finding these massive fossil plates that had corals and oysters and stuff like that in them. And I didn't know what any of them really were at the time, but there's like really, really nice impressions and stuff like that. And I have more pieces. It's just a little bit hard to get to them right now. But I have one piece where there's literally, I think, 8 or 9 oysters on top.
Nice.
And I had actually taken some of them into the somewhat local rock shop. It was more close to, it was like right off of Lake Michigan, up in the northern suburbs of Chicago. But I went and I had them look at it, and they were like freaked out because they were in really good condition, preserved really well. And I told them what was going on, the dig site and everything like that, that this rock shop ended up launching its own dig with the local rock club. And they went out and they had their people go and start digging some stuff up. And this place has their own little like museum. And I've gone back there. I probably haven't gone back there in like 6 or 7 years, but I had gone back there a couple of years after going and showing them. And they had a whole little area and display an article about when they went and found them and when it was because they built the new bridge and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's pretty cool because those suckers wouldn't have known about it if I wouldn't have brought them in. So it was pretty cool.
Right, that's awesome. Diggin was saying he wanted to see more fossils, so I'm just grabbing fossils to show.
Heck yeah.
Diggin said more fossils. This is carbonized leaf imprints from an ash flow from Oregon.
Now I gotta.
It's also got carbonized wood. There's a good lot of leaves in these. This is just full of layers of leaves and wood and giant ash flow.
I've got some fossils. Oh, then I'm gonna have to move some things around. Hold on. I wasn't planning this.
Yeah, the really good leaf fossils are put away in a box. I can't get to them right now. The one that Lisa sent. That's one that Lisa sent me this last. We'll show off before we get out of here. While Tyler's digging for his. See a few people dropping off. I never did get to mentioning the Patreon benefits, but I am making an actual video to put out on the channel. So for those here and those who are subscribed to me, you'll be able to check that out pretty soon on my channel. I'm going to put out just a video just explaining the Patreon, going through each tier and describing what everything means, what every benefit, so no one has any questions. Or if you do, you can still message me about it and, ask me anything. But let's see what Tyler's got here.
So you want fossils, right? All right. I got some fossils.
It just makes it more funny that at the beginning of the podcast I said today I'm actually wearing pants actual jeans today, because last time I was wearing sweats, and now you're commenting on his pajama bottoms.
Okay. These are fleece. Okay, so they're extra toasty.
Yeah.
A little more than denim in my current situation. All right, hold on. Let me lower my light here.
Yeah. Okay, that's usually the deal in most places, is not collecting vertebrate fossils. Some people break the rules anyway, but...
All right, so I got a couple different plates here. This is from the St. Leon. This is my only one that's got a cephalopod. And that's actually loose, so I have to get that kind of put back in place. But you can see kind of all busted apart, but that's where it was. So this is from Indiana, out near the border with Ohio. This plate here is also from the St. Leon road cut. Just a whole big kind of cluster. And what's really cool about these St. Leon fossils as well is that they glow orange under UV light. So they look like big old Petoskey mixes. Or not Petoskey, I'm sorry. They look like big old Uperlite mixes underneath the UV light. This one's pretty cool. This one's got a gastropod cast in it. I think that's the only piece I found that had a substantial gastropod cast. You don't normally find the actual shells. A lot of times you just find the cast of it. This is another one from St. Leon.
Orange, like this kind of orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these are some.
I'll get out my UV light. I got it sitting over here. I'll get it out in a minute. And then let's see. This one here is from Indiana. This is from the creeks where I hunt geodes. I don't normally find fossil plates and things like that, but this one was really cool.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty awesome detail in that.
Really awesome horn coral there, and it's just kind of like a big chunk. And it honestly, I think this chunk here is like a reef or something. I don't know if it's, or maybe it's just weathered limestone, because it looks quite different than the rest of it. And you can see there's just layers and layers of fossils and stuff in there. Tons of crinoids and all kinds of stuff. And then this one here is from Kentucky. This one's pretty cool. This is the only fossil plate, or I think I've got two like this. That have got this kind of coral. I forget what it is. It just blows my mind that it looks like a screw.
Right, a little corkscrew.
This one's got a pretty nice crinoid up here with some of the arms hanging off of it. Hey, what up? We got George and Heather's chubby hubby joining in.
Oh,
Hi, you guys. Thanks for stopping by. We're getting towards the end of it, so I encourage you to, when it does end, rewatch from the beginning. But this is another one of the plates from over a decade ago that I found, and kind of I've had it for quite some time. Really, really cool stuff. But all right, let me set you down for a second, and to flip some lights on.
all right. Let's see. Look at some things in the UV here. A lot of glowy stuff on this shelf. Septarian nodule.
Hold on, I know I just had my light out here last night. I didn't bring it inside. Here.
Yeah, all sorts of goodies. Lots of glowing goodies. I'm gonna have to look. I was trying to just find that fossil to show digging my death potato, but I don't know where I put it after I made the last video with it. So I'll have to go find it soon and show that in another. Or I mean, I put it in a short recently, so I'm pretty sure you saw that one.
I mean, you got time. I'm sorry. Oh, there it is.
Ooh, hot pink. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I haven't checked this in the blacklight yet. Angie just sent me this. I didn't show any of the stuff tonight that Angie sent, but Angie sent me a cool little box with all sorts of rocks. See if this one glows. Oh, not really any glow to this dogtooth calcite. Nothing crazy. Mild glow. Let's take a look at it.
All right. I don't think you got it dark enough by you, bud. All right, so you can see some of these fossils start to glow. I've got the more fluorescent ones over here on my UV shelf. So here, let's see. I think my battery's dying. Snap. Hold on. Woo! Not the battery. I think I have another one on in my desk. Hold on. Snap. All right, tagging you in.
All right. So while he's looking for that, here's a bunch of goodies that Angie sent. I was going through them and set a bunch back in the box. She sent me these cool little stands that I can use for some spheres. So a couple of those little stands, which I'm definitely going to be using. But she sent a bunch of awesome rocks. A lot of them are still in these little bags. But maybe we'll pop the UV on some of these. Ooh, look at these little Bumblebee Jasper looking one. Maybe not Bumblebee. It's similar. Yeah. Oh, I was definitely going to put the Uper light on that stand, Angie. That was 100% the plan. Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
All right. Battery.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited. There we go. Now we can see the UV shelf.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So the
That's so much
plates
better.
in the far back, those are the fossil plates that react that way. And then we've got a handful of different things. That one back there is center screen. The far back with the orange on it. And there's just some of the others. Lots of glowy stuff. Kind of a little disorganized right now.
This one's crazy. It's spotted inside the rock. That's not dust on it.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love that one right there.
Ooh.
This piece right here is Illinois fluorite in host rock with all the purples and yellows and blue. One of my favorite pieces. That baby right there. You guys recognize that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one, man. Dude, that one's insane. I love that one.
If you don't recognize it, that's the one that's in my logo. Got some crazy lace agate there. Hiding right behind the crazy lace, we got some more Illinois fluorite. And check that out. I love that black spot in there too is also a reaction to the UV light. I forget what that is. I think that's the sphalerite in that one. Maybe that's reacting that way.
These are really cool. These are super UV reactive. Very blue.
All my native artifacts. We should have had my UV light out there in the fields. Greg, if you're still watching, look at them. They're all glowing.
There's a lot of good glowies in here, Angie. I haven't checked them all with the black light yet. Oh, wait.
Ooh, Uper light.
Uper.
Very nice. Oh, I forgot about this one. This one right here. You see that chunk in the middle? That's some nasty, gnarly calcite. You should melt that out because that's a really
Yeah.
pretty botryoidal.
Oh, yeah. That would be cool to melt that out. See what's in there. This big, funky carved agate.
Oh,
I think it's got a flame in it.
Wiley glows too.
And get the light on this one. Show y'all that one. I like this one a lot. It's got one of those interesting flame carvings to it. Spiral flame. I just love that it looks like a flame right there, too. It's a candle.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. And as Angie said, it's got a little druzy hole down here, too. I forgot. It's got a little druzy pocket in it. Looks like it needs to be cleaned out. Maybe I can give it a small bath. Get that little sparkly in there. Looks like it's got some polishing compound stuck down in it. But yeah. Anyway, it's all dark in here now because I turned my lights off for the black light. So now it's quite dark in here. But I think I might have to call it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, just over the 2 hour mark. Yeah, I think this is about a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Needing a potty break for a while.
Yeah, I need to go make some real food. I had a small lunch, but now I need to go eat some real food, and we had a long weekend. I've got so much catching up to do on homework and all sorts of stuff. It's in there, Angie. I didn't pull them all out. There's a whole bunch in there still that I didn't pull everything out. Pretty sure the carnelian one is somewhere right here. It's right there.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh, I've got Butterfingers today, man. I dropped it.
Said not that.
Oh, not this one. This one's like a banded carnelian.
The one that looks like a sardonyx. Don't look at it.
Yeah, there's another. This one's just some agate. Let's see. Oh, where's that one? Do. I took a few out. I was playing with a few. This one?
Oh, that's pretty wicked. That's cool. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was debating doing a little video to show all these ones off that she sent, because there was a nice little box here that I got from Angie, as I was just showing. It's, a whole bunch of little goodies here.
We'll have to. We'll plan another podcast episode. It'll just be a UV special, and we'll just get a set up. We'll lay out all our UV stuff, and we'll go through and we'll check everything out.
Yeah, we'll just no place in my house is devoid of light until the sun actually goes down. Like right now, this room can be dark, so if it's more in the evening, I can like have it really dark and it'll work out well. But there's nowhere to hide from the light in my house otherwise.
Yeah, we'll plan an evening show or evening podcast. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you are new to the channel and this is the first time watching, be sure to click that button down below and subscribe, and also be sure to go over to Rufo Tris Rooted Rockhound and check them out. So if you didn't know, we do this stream between the two of our channels. So every other time we do a show, it's on a different channel. So all the odd numbers on my channel. So episode 1 and 3 you'll find here. But if you want to watch episode 2, if you're curious where it's at, head on over to Rufo Tris Rooted Rockhound's channel, and you will find it with the same name and pretty much the same thumbnail, just a little variant to it. But
that's a good idea, Greg. Yes, we can start doing viewer submissions, like a viewer.
Yeah, we can do viewer submissions too. That'd be really cool. I wouldn't mind.
Easy into our podcast channel, or into the Lapidary Lounge Discord channel.
I can get you my shipping info, Angie, if that's what you're talking about. Sending me a box. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I think that's a successful episode 3. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, be sure to drop a comment, let us know what you think. And if you guys ever have any input or want a certain topic or thing to be talked about, please feel free to share in the comments, live comments or regular comments. Shoot us an email. Both of us have our email addresses on our channels too. All that's publicly available. So I think that is going to wrap it up. And unless you got anything else you want to say? Oh, copyright.
No. Yeah, I guess just y'all have a good one, and yeah, we'll take any suggestions. Like you said, we're still learning our structure, getting our flow down. We don't even have a proper intro going on yet.
We don't have an intro just yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah, it's all those small things are getting refined. But any suggestions you guys have, yeah, we'll totally take it. Remember, we've got a Discord. It's the Lapidary Lounge, same name as the podcast. And most of you that were here tonight chatting, pretty much all of you are in the Discord already. But for those that are watching in the future or maybe not in the chat, yeah, jump in the Discord. And as far as next episode, I think was a little bit up in the air what we'll do, but we'll do a UV special. It sounds like maybe.
Yeah, if you want to do UV special next, or yeah, I don't know. I got some ideas. We'll
We have
chat.
that cleaning one. I also told Tyler today I had an idea of another episode where we do a live cleaning where I'm going to do an iron out. We'll start the episode by me putting something in iron out and he'll put something in acid, and we'll see him cleaned up by the end of the episode and see what it did in that hour and a half time or so.
You know what? Maybe that'd be maybe that's something we could tie in when we do the cab competition. You know, because the competition will give us a little chunk of time. I think get them started, get to cabin,
Yeah.
and then afterwards, or we can have it be a standalone, something like that. But
Yeah.
what I was thinking was, I think it's just going to be one more podcast for January. I was wondering or thinking maybe we'll do. I'd like to try and do one podcast a month where we bring somebody else on. You know, have it where it's the two of us do the intros and whatnot, and then one back out, bring somebody else in. So just keeping that in mind. If we wanted to get one for January, I think we'd have to do that the next podcast. But we'll chat about it, see who's game for it. I know Jeremiah is interested. I talked to Travis the other day. He and I were on the phone. He'd be interested too. So
yeah.
Figure on it, but yeah, that's where input from you guys also helps out too. So
Yeah.
all still being learned.
Well, we'll see y'all around our channels and around our videos. My schedule has changed. I did not put out a video today. That was my last thing I forgot to mention. So I'm trying to change up my schedule a little bit. And I'm going to try and move more towards a Sunday premiere time. I might still drop videos on a Thursday, but I'm not going to do Thursday premieres anymore because, again, I'm going to be busy every Thursday night for school this year. Up to like 8:30 at night is when my class gets out. So yeah, I'm switching to a Sunday premiere and maybe just drop a random video on Thursdays occasionally, but it won't be premiere.
Sweet. All right, cool. Sounds good. But that's gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out. See everybody in episode 4. Otherwise, we'll see everybody later this week with uploads and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have a good one. See y'all later.